Please chant. Yavai lasa Shri Tulasi Vimishra Krishnang Grirena Vyadikambunetri Punati Lokan Ubayatra Seshan Kastam Naseveta Marishyamanaha. Ladies. Yavalasa Shri Tulasi Vimishra Krishnang Grirena Vyadikambunetri Punati Lokan Ubayatra Seshan Kastam Naseveta Marishyamanaha. Ya, the river which, why always, lasat, floating with, Shri Tulasi, Tulasi leaves, Vimishra, mixed, Krishna Angri, the lotus feet of the Lord, Shri Krishna, Renu, dust, Abhyadika, auspicious, Ambu, water, Netri, that which is carrying, Punati, sanctifies, Lokan, planets, Ubayatra, both the upper and lower, or inside and outside. Sa Ishan, along with Lord Shiva. Kaha, who else? Tam, that river. Na, does not. Seveta, worship. Marishyamanaha, one who is to die at any moment. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. We can read the translation together. The river Ganges by which the king sat to fast carries the most auspicious water, which is mixed with the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord and tulasi leaves. Therefore, that water sanctifies the three worlds, inside and outside, and even sanctifies Lord Shiva and other demigods. Consequently, everyone who is destined to die must take shelter of this river. Purport. You can read? Okay.
Maharaj Parikshit, just after receiving the news of his death within 7 days, at once retired from family life and shifted himself to the sacred bank of the Yamuna river. Generally, it is said that the king took shelter on the bank of the Ganges, but according to Srila Jiva Goswami, the king took shelter on the bank of the Yamuna. Srila Jiva Goswami's statement appears to be more accurate because of the geographical situation. Maharaj Parikshit resided in his capital Hastinapura, situated near present Delhi, and the river Yamuna flows down past the city. Naturally, the king would take shelter of the river Yamuna because she was flowing past his palace door. And as far as sanctity is concerned, the river Yamuna is more directly connected with Lord Krishna than the Ganges. The Lord sanctified the river Yamuna from the beginning of his transcendental pastimes in the world. While his father Vasudeva was crossing the Yamuna with the baby Lord Krishna for a safer place at Gokula, on the other bank of the river from Mathura, the Lord fell down in the river, and by the dust of his lotus feet the river at once became sanctified. It is especially mentioned herein that Maharaj Parikshit took shelter of that particular river, which is beautifully flowing, carrying the dust of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna mixed with tulsi leaves. Lord Krishna's lotus feet are always besmeared with the tulsi leaves, and thus, as soon as his lotus feet contact the water of the Ganges and the Yamuna, the rivers become at once sanctified. The Lord, however, contacted the river Yamuna more than the Ganges. According to the Varaha Purana, as quoted by Srila Jiva Goswami, there is no difference between the water of the Ganges and the Yamuna, but when the water of the Ganges is sanctified 100 times, it is called the Yamuna. Similarly, it is said in the scriptures that 1,000 names of Vishnu are equal to one name of Rama, and 3 names of Lord Rama are equal to one name of Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanata Vrandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Sanvilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachulam Pangam Lange Degirim Yakripadamam Vande Shri Gurum Dena Taranam Paramananda Matam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Savodito Gododiyo Pushpanto Chitra Sando Tamodudo. I mean, when I was reading the Bhagavatam about Vasudeva carrying Krishna, we never read that he dropped Krishna into the river, but it's interesting Prabhupada mentions here, because this pastime goes many times in a day of Brahma, so there's many similar pastimes, so he must have dropped. Or the Yamuna river came up to the height where he was carrying the baby and touched his feet. So that's the other way of looking at it also. Yeah, that's amazing. So anyway, when Maharaj Parikshit heard of the terrible curse that was taken by the young Brahmin boy, intelligent boy, he cursed Maharaj Parikshit to die in 7 days. What did Maharaj Parikshit do? Immediately, he took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what did he do? He immediately decided to stop everything, right? Said, all right, my son Janamejaya, you take over, everything. He made sure everything is quickly given away to responsible people. So in the same way, we should all also consider we can go anytime. So we should make sure that there's something saying who are the responsible people who will take over our possessions or what last rights we want, etc., etc. Right? So even if you may say you're brahmachari, but you may have some desire that when you die you want your body to be suspended from the top of the Himalayas or whatever like that, or whatever, you write it down in your on your will. My point is there should be something, so that people know, no, Prabhu wanted this, his special dhoti he wanted to wear with before he's cremated or something like that, right? There are such desires, so don't feel it's not proper or what. Actually, when you die, that's what they do. They bathe you nicely, then they put tilak, everything, and they'll put nice, wonderful, clean dhoti, kurta, or saris like that. So, although Maharaj Parikshit is a great transcendentalist, he didn't think he was self-sufficient. He was very advanced, but he didn't think I could do whatever I want and I don't have to worry, things will be okay. He didn't think like that. What he showed was he was always dependent on the Lord's mercy. So we also have to cultivate that attitude also. We are practicing, we saw how Prabhupada did it. So we also have to cultivate that dependency on the Supreme Lord and the devotees. We have to. We got no other choice. Right? You cannot, when I die, I go back to my family members and all the others. You know. So we have to think like that. Yeah. And like Mother Guru Bhakti was explaining, you better say who should take care of your dead body and who should do that. Otherwise, the family members will, dig 6 feet and put your body underground, which you may not want to, like that. Yeah. Yeah, or throw your body over a rooftop, like in some, countries, in the third world countries. Yeah, the cannibals and so on. They throw the body on the roof, let it rot, and then later on they pick and eat, and so that they'll get the blessings of the forefathers through the body of the older folks. Yeah. Yeah, we may say it's strange, but they also have their own religion, culture, and lifestyle. And some people will say that's fantastic, Yeah, it sounds like Soylent Green, If you have read the book, you'll know. So here, he didn't think he was self-sufficient. He continued to show that he was always dependent on the Supreme Lord. Yeah. Therefore, he took shelter of the Yamuna river. And not only when he went there, when everyone in the country heard that the king has gone to take shelter of the Yamuna river and he's decided to fast till die, so many sages, saintly persons, even the great Vyasadeva and Narada Muni, they came. Ultimately, he asked a question, but they were all discussing, just like in a classroom. There's so many groups you make and tell them to come up with some solution. You can find they'll come up with different solutions. But it appears that Sukadeva Goswami wasn't so impressed as yet, until who comes along? Sukadeva Goswami, because Krishna arranged for this. Doesn't Narada Muni know how to say what the last rites for a person is before they are going to die? Of course he knows. But Krishna wanted Sukadeva Goswami to speak the Bhagavatam. Yeah. So therefore here we see Parikshit Maharaj, he's submitting before the Lord, either in his personal feature, his deity form, or his paraphernalia. You can do that also. Anything connected to the Lord. So part of his paraphernalia is the holy place. And part of that holy place is Yamuna river. Yes. Yeah. So he's showing us you can surrender in a very nice way. Or if you don't have holy river, we take shelter of holy names. Yeah. So therefore when we die, we want, as we are dying, we want people to be screaming the holy name at us. Yes, so that we can keep hearing until we disappear to the next destination, or we can go back to Godhead, depending on how much we have pleased the Vaishnavas and Krishna. Yeah. Generally, if you please the devotees nicely, you are guaranteed to go back. You are guaranteed to go back. You please the devotees. Do your best to please the devotees, because you can't please the Supreme Lord directly. And you please the devotees means you're pleasing Srila Prabhupada. He's the Dhamvasi. He's the eternal resident from Goloka Vrindavan. He has come down, and that's how we are connected, and we can follow in the footsteps of a eternal resident of Krishna. So we follow what Prabhupada wants us to do. So we help others come to Krishna. So this should be our nature of the devotees, taking shelter of the devotees, as well as even at the end of life, what is the point in living, more, How long you want to live in this kind of world situation? So we should prepare. We should be very eager to reside in such place where remembrance of Krishna is the greatest. Right? Oftentimes devotees, they embrace the bhakti process, but they don't want to stay in the temple. They want to time to go. one should feel repentance and feeling of separation, when you are going home. You should think, I'm leaving. Yeah. You must have that feeling. If you don't feel, then you still have a long way to go. That means you have so many material attachment. Every time you come to Sunday program and then when you go home, you should feel, no, I don't want to go. Oh Krishna, why am I going? I still have so much attachment. If you think like that, that's good. Because eventually Krishna will organize something or arrange something for you. Just like he's arranging everything for Parikshit Maharaj. Huh? So similarly we can see the attachment to the holy places and remembrance of Krishna is so strong in the Vaishnavas who are practicing nicely, right? The example, of course, the example is like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's showing the best standard. He wanted to go to Vrindavan so much. So often he tried to want to go, but eventually he couldn't go because his mother said, go to Jagannath Puri. But that was a reason. Mahaprabhu wanted to teach us Vipralamba Bhav. Yeah? Jagannath Puri is representing the separation from the Supreme Lord, because that's the mood of Srimati Radharani. She wanted to show this is how, when you feel separation from devotees, separation from the temple environment, you are developing Srimati Radharani's mood also. So that's part of cultivation. It's essential. We need that. We need to understand this is what I want. So I can make the advancement very nicely. Yeah. So we also read how Srila Prabhupada was in the final days, he was so eager to return back to Vrindavan. Not because he was rushing to India, no, because Krishna wanted him to come back to Vrindavan. He's told his disciples, if Krishna wants, I'll stay. If Krishna doesn't want, then I'll have to go. So he'll say, I want to stay, but I want to know what Krishna wants. And then they say, yes. Then he said, you pray, and then I will ask Krishna. So then after a couple of days, they asked him, and he said, Krishna wants me to go. It's amazing. So he's showing, we also develop such consciousness, we will know how Krishna wants. It's up to Krishna, it's not up to us, Mother Kirtida also was there, and she was, we thought, she said, I'm going to leave, so we were all there, we were screaming and chanting, and then finally she did, this is just before dawn like that, but then she didn't leave the body, then everyone is like, she didn't leave the body. And then I asked her, hey, what happened, then she smiled, and I said, you were also praying like that, what happened? She says, because Krishna and Balaram came in the room. And she said, what did they say? No, they just waved at me and said, it's not yet. So a few days later she left after that, yeah. So it's important, for us to practice nicely, so that we can also show others who are also practicing, that they have hope. They have hope. They can go back to Godhead. But we have to do our sadhana nicely, our practices properly, and with pure heart we want to help others also. This is important for us. As soon as Maharaj Parikshit realized, I have only 7 days, he said, he remembered Krishna. That's why he said, I'm going to the Yamuna. Of course, Prabhupada says it's next to the door of his palace. Not that he opened the door and he falls down into Yamuna. It means it's close by, right? So sometimes people read literally like that, So means it's close by. So he could go to the Yamuna river and take shelter there. We know Yamuna river is very special. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. So when you remember Yamuna river, you can understand Krishna spotted around the banks of river Yamuna. It's a very special place. It's a holy place. Yeah? So the focus in the purport Srila Prabhupada talks about is on the sanctity of these rivers, Ganga and Yamuna, how they are mixed with the dust of the Krishna's lotus feet. And he also says tulsi leaves. Why? Because if you look carefully, Krishna's feet, there's always tulsi leaves on the altar. So then he puts his feet on the water as he's messing around or playing or splashing or kicking the Yamuna river, or he just enjoys himself. And this river, whether it's Ganges or Yamuna, is so sacred that they can sanctify, as Prabhupada mentions here, the three worlds, upper, middle and lower planetary system. So powerful. What is the purpose of emphasizing? The emphasis by Shukadev Goswami is to show that it has spiritual potency. He's trying to emphasize for us to understand that it can so powerful that it can even purify and protect and even deliver the demigods, including Lord Shiva. Yeah, amazing. So this sanctity, right, of both Ganga and Yamuna, they're uniquely sanctified because it carries the dust of Krishna's Lord, Renu. The dust of the lotus feet, and also the tulsi leaf. This is so amazing. Not only that, it says purifying inside and outside the material universe. This is amazing. It stressed that those destined to die should take shelter by these rivers, if we can. Otherwise, we take shelter of the devotees. Yeah, you have to. You can't be all alone in your home dying, right? You go crazy. You'll be afraid. Yeah, when devotees are there and they talk about you feel more connected. You forget about I'm dying also, for those who are not ready. Right? You hear the pastimes and you remember the pastimes and so on. So generally the holy places also symbolizes a refuge for people to go and give up their life, die also. It's a refuge. It's a very nice refuge from death itself. So when we take bath in these holy rivers, not only are you cleansing yourself, you're internally, you're also cleansing, externally and internally also, yeah. Because externally you can understand, you get cleansed, but spiritually it's advancing you. Sometimes they say you go to the Ganga, if you take bath for your whole life, you'll go back to Godhead. So then they say, but if you have association of a devotee, like that, you can go back to Godhead. Lava matra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoy. Yeah, so it's very important. We take our devotee association for granted, actually. So each one of you are gem stones, chintamani stones in the spiritual world, in a sense. You are gems. We cannot see that, because originally when you mine jewels and so on, they don't look polished or pretty, But when you polish, it comes out so amazing. It's like, my God, I never thought this person is like that. So when we practice, we become like that. Practice nicely and share and help others to go back to Godhead also. Of course, these places are also defined to be sacred places and is frequented by great saintly sages and devotees who go there. So when we go to such places, Yamuna, when you walk around the Yamuna river, you see so many amazing personalities there, right? Some of them are true Vaishnavas, some are practicing you do not know what they are practicing, and some are great saints also who have come down from the Himalayas. I remember when I first joined, there was a picture of this sadhu. So he had built a canopy like that, like 3 stories high, and on top was his hut. and he would stay there. He was, and everybody knew him. And one of the devotees said that when he was asking the people who this person, one old man was saying, he was there since my grandfather's day. Yeah, so he died a few years later. This was in maybe 91 or 92 he passed away. And at that time when he died, they said he was around 340 years old. Yeah. But he was staying in Yamuna there. He didn't want to go anywhere. He would stay there, he will chant, and then he just, do Madhu Kari and so on and so on. But he didn't want to leave the Yamuna river because he knew Krishna's pastime was there, everything. So it's amazing. We learn so many wonderful things like that. So because it's a sacred place, Maharaj Parikshit found the assembly of many great souls there also. Everybody knew this is a great person, he's leaving. So they also rushed there, okay? So many great personalities are there. We can do that also when we start practicing austerities this age. Not later on, when I get old I'll practice austerities. But the scripture doesn't say that. It says, tapasa brahmacharyena samena cha damena cha. Yeah. So one has to practice very, as soon as you realize you have to start practicing austerity. Why? Because then you can easily give up those that you are attached to. I'm going to die. I don't need this thing anymore. Just like when you pass through, it is from your body, all those things. You're not attached to it. You're running away from it. You flush it and run away. But actually it's coming from your body. Why are you not attached to those things? Of course, it's so crude. But the point is that just like that, we should give up everything in our life. That when we know we have to die. So that practice should start now. That this is temporary. I'll use it in the service of Krishna, yeah. I have my sons or daughters. I'll try to help them become Krishna conscious. Otherwise, I shouldn't get too attached. Because they may become the source of my misery and suffering. Yeah. So this is very important. Similarly, you may have so many things, you build a wonderful palace to live, and then Krishna says, time to go, then you can't live in that palace that you built. So you shouldn't become attached. Otherwise you have to come back as a cockroach or a lizard, in the next life. Yeah. So to concentrate your mind, you have to practice this. Tapasa brahmacharya means also you have to start practicing brahmacharya. Both men and women must practice celibacy. It's very good because it helps you to focus. Your mind becomes steady. It doesn't flicker. If you look at the cell phones and all people like to do, that's what makes your mind run around the universe. People scroll, they are scrolling their lives away. Right? So we have to be very careful. Practice life of celibacy and not fall down. I think Krishna is hungry. They need to close the curtain and offer him some bhoga. Srila Prabhupada contends that that King Parikshit took shelter on the banks of Yamuna river rather than the Ganges in the purport, he says. Because traditionally people say that's where he is. Jai Shri Shri Radha Nilamadak, Jai Shri Shri Radha Giridhari Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shri Shintai Thai Gauri Chandra Ki Jai, ISKCON Guru Vrinda Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. And Srila Jiva Goswami, according to purport, he supports what Prabhupada is saying, because the Hastinapur, which was originally near Delhi now, is just adjacent to the Yamuna, and we know Yamuna's connection with Krishna's pastime. Now the water's purification is enhanced by the presence of the dust and the tulsi leaves. Yeah. Why? Because Krishna's two Bhagavan Swayam. He's the source of all Vishnu incarnations or expansions and so on and so forth. Therefore, as the original Lord, He's spotted in the banks as well as in the river Yamuna and so on. That whole spotting, He spots, but then those who are in connection with Him become more and more advanced and spiritual. Yeah. Just like the more service you do, the more you make advancement. Why? Because we're getting purified and advanced in our consciousness. We can see Krishna properly. The more service we do, the more we take austerities, going out on books and so on, we become more eligible to become Krishna conscious. Sometimes we see someone is so much better than us. Why? Because he or she is more favored by Krishna. Why? Because they are doing activities that are favorable. An act of devotion says favorable activities, unfavorable activities. Yeah. So when we want to go back at this end of the life, you can't at the last moment, I'm going to do it. It doesn't work because your mind will be scrolling. Yeah. Right? So Prabhupada says how Krishna, although Vasudeva was carrying Krishna, he dropped the boy in the river. If it's present day, they will sue or take the child away from Vasudeva for abuse. But he gave up willingly to Nanda Maharaj. So therefore there was no lawsuit against him or whatever. Yeah. Okay, so the other point Srila Prabhupada mentions is the Varaha Purana describes the sanctity between the Ganga and Yamuna. And if you purify Ganga 100 times, it is called Yamuna. But then Mahaprabhu spotted in Ganga. So so actually they both have Krishna Renu. Yeah, there's no difference whether you bathe in Ganga or in Yamuna. But Krishna's pastime was mostly in Yamuna. Mahaprabhu's pastime is in Ganga. Yeah, because when Yamuna got all the wonderful pastime, Ganga complained. Yeah, so you also can complain to Krishna, how come I'm not getting the mercy? Yeah, but you be ready for the mercy He gives, He'll do a slam dunk, then you may not be able to handle it. So, but prepare yourself. Yeah. And so, what does it mean? It's analogous. The bathing in Yamuna is analogous to chanting the holy name of Krishna. The more you chant, the more you get purified. Obviously, the whole idea also within the purport, it talks about amartya, right? Deathlessness. Yeah, nobody wants to die. So these two rivers, Ganga and Yamuna, are also called deathless rivers. I mean, if you take bath in there, you get immortality. So you get, actually what it means is you get liberation. So, which is why you find thousands, almost millions, hundreds and thousands of millions of people go at Kumbh Mela. Because they all want this. But if they go for wrong reasons, they all want to actually, what? Get the nectar. Yeah, they want to catch the nectar. Huh? Yeah, it's Amrita is supposed to be falling at that time in Kumbh Mela. Yeah, so they're all hoping to get to live long. For what? Right. Make money. Some people want to, But there's a lot of, or they want to go to higher planet to enjoy Nandakana gardens and so on like that. So the whole emphasis is there is a spiritual significance in bathing in these sacred rivers. It's not merely physical cleansing, but it's a process of spiritual purification. One of the things that comes out of bathing in Ganga and Yamuna is your material desires will go away. But like I say, it takes so long. You have to bathe, you have to swim there like a fish maybe, and then you can quickly get purified. All your sinful desires will go away. All your karmic reactions will go away. Yeah. So obviously during the Kumbh Mela is a very auspicious time. So that motivates mass pilgrimage, people going there. Yes, yes, I want. But then the root cause they don't get rid of. The root cause of those sinful desires are not purified. So therefore, even though they get bathing and purified sufficiently, they go back to their old sinful lifestyles. And therefore, they cannot make advancement. Right? So the whole idea is to, once you have spiritual upliftment, then you focus on that which sustains it. As long as you're in this material world, it's always pulling you down. So therefore we have to find spiritual activities which will sustain or keep you more and more. Obviously also you find in the modern society now, the scientists are doing research wanting us to become immortal, right? Like I mentioned a few weeks ago also that the scientists, when they did research, they are saying, yes, we can manipulate the mitochondria cells and then make sure that you can live for 200 plus years. Yeah, but then you have to suffer for 200 plus years. It's not a great place actually. How much can you enjoy, you know? And even if you like a samosa, how many can you eat? Or a gulab jamun, 25 max, that's about it for some of you, but he eats. Not anymore. The point is how much? If you live for 200 years, how much? Yeah? Yeah. But you don't need to do all this genetic manipulation or even yoga or whatever. But the simple act of bathing in these rivers or chanting the holy names will achieve the same things. Yeah. Direct access to deathlessness. Right? It's so amazing, it's so potent, it's so powerful. Even in the third canto, right, we hear what is it? Tasya ravinda nayanasya padaravinda kinjalka mishra tulasi makaranda vayu antargata swavivarena chakara tesham sangsho makshara jusham apichitta tanvo. Yeah. So this explains where the four Kumaras, they achieved Brahman realization. But they also were not happy because they were wandering in the universe. And so one time they thought they would go to Vaikuntha, see, but then they were not wandering. They were traveling and they smelled Kinjalka Mishra Tulasi Makaranda Vayu. On the lotus feet of the Lord, Narayana, there was Tulasi with Chandan and so on. And they just smelled that. And they, although they were situated in Brahman, they came out of the Brahman situation. They say, how is that possible? How did it disturb us? We are already in Brahman. So then they realized there's something superior. And so they went to Vaikuntha, and that's where they got denied access at the 7th door by Jay and Vijay. So it's so powerful. You offer the tulasi, the lotus feet of the Lord, and then later on you take that tulasi leaf, and in your heart you thank the Lord, and you can even take it. We put the tulasi in a basket in the pujari room, nobody picks up tulasi leaves. Some devotees do. But mostly it's there. Why? What gives? Which means we are not reading properly, we are not practicing properly, and therefore there are so much problems in the way we are practicing, you know. Right? So like I said, the holy name is imbued with Krishna's spiritual potency, just as the waters are sanctified by Krishna's lotus feet. So therefore, we should chant with great enthusiasm and with happiness. You want to have long life, yeah, go to upper planetary systems. You can have long, but still, how long can you live? Even Brahma, 311 trillion, 20 or 40 billion years, he lives. But eventually, he even told Hiranyakashipu, "You're made, I still have to die." Eventually, I have to die. Yeah. Of course, people will argue, well, if I have that long, I can do so many things. I bet you won't. You'll watch Netflix. That's what happens. Or you keep scrolling for 311 trillion, 40 billion years. So the Ganga, she comes, some say, when Vamanadev put his second foot on the universe, it made a rupture and the Ganga fell down. That's how Ganga originated, right? But others say when Bali Maharaj washed the feet of Vamanadev, that water that was on his feet is actually Ganga. So there's so many different ways it is discussed like that. And when she comes down, she only comes to Brahma's planet. But from there to the Swargaloka and so on, the great sages in the Mahaloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, when they come down, they come in these special flying machines which carry the Ganga water. And they come to the planet and then they pour and they go. So millions and millions of these flying things that come, carrying the Ganga from the upper planetary, come down to the Swargaloka. And then it falls in Sumera and goes into 4 ways, if you read the 5th canto. And then it flows through Alakananda, it is called. And then it comes into Bharatvarsha as Ganga, through the Himalayas. So much potency, so much the Lord arranges for us to get out of this illusory universe. Right? He's planned so many things he's planning because we are part and parcel of him, and so we also think in so many ways to enjoy separate from him. And so he tries every way. Of course, some people will say moksha is good enough, but then I already discussed moksha, liberation, or Brahman liberation is not the end all, because the 4 Kumaras were disturbed. So the ultimate liberation is going back to Vaikuntha or Goloka. That is what we have to understand. So the more we are connected to that which is connected to Krishna, it will foster love for Krishna. The less you do, then you have to come back many, many lifetimes going through these things. It's going to be difficult, you know. Okay, so I think 5 more minutes. What I want to do is talk about Ramananda Rai. Today is his disappearance day. Yeah. So before even he met Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu was with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and in their discussion, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya explains that if anyone in this world knows about Krishna Rasa Tattva, it's only Ramananda Rai. No one else. Yeah. No one else can explain to you Radha Krishna's Madhurya Rasa better than he can. So therefore, Mahaprabhu at that time, he was about 20-something years old. But Ramananda Rai was double his age, 40 plus. But when Mahaprabhu met him, he said, "You are the expert, we are both madmen." Right? He says, "You are mad and I am mad. We are mad for Krishna. Therefore, on that level, we are equal." But in terms of age, they were not, Of course, what was his position when Ramananda was? He was the governor of Madras. Yeah, Madras. Chennai, Madras. And he was a poet, he was a Sanskrit scholar, he was a dramatist, and he was into rasa literature. Bharat wrote all the different rasas in the Natya Shastra, right? Yeah. So then he was so familiar with all those things. And so when Mahaprabhu went to meet him at Vidyanagara, they spent how many days? It's just trivia. 10 days together. Okay, yeah. And so they discuss all points of Krishna consciousness. So Mahaprabhu asked so many questions, and it is in Madhya Leela chapter 8. You all should go and read that also. It's called Ramananda Samvaga. Okay. Of course, Mahaprabhu's first question is how to attain the ultimate goal of life, which is very similar to what Parikshit Maharaj wanted to know. What was person who is about to die do? It's the same thing, you know. And the first thing he said was, perform Varnashram Dharma. Then Mahaprabhu said, there must be something better than that. Then he went to Karma Arpanam, right? Give up Karma Arpanam. Then he said, no, better than that is Karma Tyaga. Don't do any work like that. And then Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Then he goes to just worship the forms of the Lord. And then he said, must be better than that. Then he talked about Prema Bhakti. Then he said, Santaras, Dasyaras, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya Ras. So finally come to, he said, must be more than Madhurya Ras. So ultimately he comes to Radha Prema. Radha Prema. The love of Srimati Radharani for Mahaprabhu. That is the highest. And that is the mood of the gopis in Vrindavan. Yeah. Radha Krishna Prema Tattva. And then beyond that is the Prema Vilas Vivarta, the exchanges between the gopis and Krishna. And Mahaprabhu confirms this is the highest. Yeah. And Ramananda Roy is also said to be Arjuna, Vishaka. He's a combination of both Arjuna and Vishaka. So Mahaprabhu tells him to Shivananda said? No. Who was the father? But anyway, he said, you and your son are Pandus. You are Pandu and your sons are, Bhavananda Roy. Bhavananda Roy. That's the father's name. He says, you and your 4 sons, you are Pandu and your 4 sons are the Pandavas. 5 sons, yeah. 4. So that's basically what I want to talk about Ramananda. So any comments and questions you have? Anything you want to add? Reflections? Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. I just wanted to ask where we could read about the 7 doors of Vaikuntha.
That one you have to ask. It's in the Puranas, and you have to ask Srinivasacharya. He's into all this Puranic. Or if you really want to know the doors, if you really want to go through them, then talk to Saranga Thakur Prabhu. He also goes through those doors. But I don't know much, but I know only about the 7 doors.
I just...
You're curious.
Sorry,
yeah, that's fine.
Just curious.
No problem.
Sorry for the technical question.
No, it's not. Yeah, those technical things I don't know much. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Prabhuji.
Suppose we do Ganga and Yamuna's water and IV fluid we have in our ISKCON factory, how much it helps the people?
You can do that. It's the same as taking bath there or whatever. But the point is that heart must transform. Yeah, transformation of heart is what we are talking about. What happens is it's just like when you associate with devotees, because of their affection and love for Krishna, we also want to take it up. Why? Because of their affection, it transforms our heart. So similarly, when you do continuous bathing in your Ganga or Yamuna, there is a transformation. You cannot avoid that. It happens naturally. So, but how many IV you want to take, that depends on each individual.
Because it is a custom, when somebody is dying, we
Yes.
put tulsi and
Yes,
Ganga
yes,
water
yes.
or Yamuna
Yeah,
water.
that
How
is-
much it benefits them?
A lot, actually. Yeah.
Huh?
It's you cannot compare matter with spirit, actually. So when you're offering someone spiritual, sanctified things that by Krishna, we do not know how much it's affecting that jiva at that time. Yeah, it may bring them back to Godhead. Sometimes we put the leaf and then we burn the body. According to the scripture, they'll go back to Godhead. Yeah, but we do not know how Krishna arranges for them to go back to Godhead. Yeah, yeah. But we have no doubt it happens. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for reminding me of my question. So, I had towards the beginning, you know.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't exactly remember everything what it was, but it was like such and such name is equal to like 3 names of Ram is equal to 1 name of Krishna.
Yes.
What?
Yes,
Okay, and then purifying the Ganga
100 times.
100 times equals Yamuna.
Well,
Right?
Yamuna. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm curious about is like, I mean, we hear that the ultimate is...
One of the things you have to understand is sometimes the Shastra wants to explain spiritual topics to people in the mundane context, you know, and therefore 100 times purification. It could be, you can even say 1,000,000 times. But the point is, it is so connected to Krishna. And Ganga is not as so connected to Krishna. That is the emphasis there. Yeah. But we know, as I mentioned, Mahaprabhu spotted in Ganga. So they are equal in many ways, the way I see it. Yeah. Yeah. There's no difference, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, because I was just thinking that it was like, you know, we have people playing slots and they're trying to get multipliers and stuff, you know. But basically the point is to chant Hare Krishna, which is the highest benefit of...
Yes.
Okay.
In this age, that's... Yeah, if you go to India, if you are near Yamuna, you have to be careful, because if you try and swim in Yamuna, you might not come out of it because it's so polluted. So normally we sprinkle on our heads and then we move on, you know. It's really polluted, yeah. But it doesn't mean Yamuna hasn't got the potency. It's just that our body cannot handle the contamination. Okay, our material body. But spiritually, it is very potent. So you can sprinkle it on, but you may not be able to consume it unless you bring your water distiller, set up next to the Yamuna river and make some money like that. Yeah.
Both Yamuna and Ganga are, of course, very auspicious to take a bath in the Ganga and Yamuna.
Yeah.
But after the Prayag, it's generally known as the Ganga, right? So a lot of people even go to Banaras just to die. We can see over there. So a lot of old age people, they come and stay there, and they're just waiting for the death.
Yeah.
And,
Most people, if they understand Krishna consciousness and if they go there and leave their body, then they are going in a proper destination. But others, they go there because they heard or from people, it's good to die in Banaras, it'll give you liberation, but they have no connection with Krishna. So they may, if they are very fortunate, somehow they can get liberation, but that liberation may at most be just going to impersonal moksha, that's about it, but they still have to come back, you know. But in general, such people may get a better birth in the next life, where then they can continue the process of moving towards true liberation. right? Yeah. I can't see why you just go and dip, unless previous life they were pure devotee, in this life they are like Jad Bharat, acting like a fool, and then go to the Yamuna or wherever and die. You never know. There may be cases like that, but in general, for general population, no. Yeah. Anything else? Yes, Prabhu, please.
Thank you, Prabhu. I was thinking when you mentioned the holy name, if you chant the holy name, that's purifying. I was also thinking of Bhagavad Gita in the introduction. Srila Prabhupada quotes Gita Amrita.
Yes, yes.
Which says Ganga emanated from the feet and the Gita came from the mouth of the Lord. And the Gita Mahatmya verse says, if you bathe once in Gita Gangodakam Punarjanmana Vidyate. So if you bathe once in the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, but there's meaning behind the once. That means you fully realize you can be reading for 1,000,000 times, and not realize anything. Yeah. How to access is what we are. Prabhupada has taught us how to access this purification. Directly we can't. We have to go through the association of devotees. That's our only hope. So, but thank you for that. Yeah. Questions? No. Yes.
It seems to be like a recurring trope in the Bhagavatam that people meditate by a river. Dhruva Maharaj did the same thing. And I was also thinking, there was a pastime, the first time Lord Chaitanya tried to go to Vrindavan, Nityananda told him the Ganga is actually the Yamuna river. And I was also thinking of the journey home. I think Radhanath Swami mentions
Also,
there that
yes.
his first experience of the Mahamantra happened on the
Ganga.
banks of the Ganga
Yes.
river.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Anything else, Mataji? No? All right. Thank you very much. Gandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanandi. Yeah.